Hello everyone, today I'm coming to you to share with you some stamped images that I stamped a little while ago using some different inks, using this stamp set that I purchased from HSN. This is by Simply Iconic and it came with several different stamps, and we all know out there that different stamp pads will give you a different result. So I stamped just a few of these stamps just so that way you could see what the different stamp impressions would give you. Now I did use this stamp mat that I purchased from Joann's. The stamp mat was bigger, but because I usually stamp, you know, my desk is not but so big. Actually, I have a lot of stuff on it. But I have a small space, so I just cut this in half, and I usually keep half of it in my crop bag and the other half on my desk. But I did cut this in half, and you could purchase this for like $6 from Joann's in their stamping area. So I use several different inks. I use StazOn. I use this is StazOn. I use Graphite Archival Brilliance black ink. I also used a VersaFine black ink, and I used their black ink that came with the kit. So I'll show you some of those. And then I also used, let me see, I used some different Memento color inks. Then I used several different Hero Arts inks. Actually, me and Anika go back and forth, and she always say, why do you need different ink pads? And you have enough ink pads. However, me and her go back and forth about this all the time. Different ink pads will give you a different result. So I want y'all to go over there and let her know that. Because we always go back and forth about the ink pads. So I like to have a variety of ink pads for different things that I'm actually stamping. And then I also used a distress ink so you can see what that looked like stamped out. And then I used a Jenny Bolin ink. Now, Jenny Bolin is not my favorite inks. I'm just going to say that. It's not really my favorite inks. But I do have a lot of her ink pads. They are good for certain things. So let me share with you first the stamp that I stamped. This is the typewriter. And I stamped it in a Brilliance black ink. I stamped it in a VersaFine, the StazOn, and the Simply Iconic ink pad, which are these little mini ink pads that came with the kit. And the block that I use is this one right here. I actually got this from Marshall's, but you can get it from any craft store with the little grooves in it. These are my favorite. So I use that. You can also use, which might have even been better for me to stamp it, probably would have been the Fiskars. But I used that one right there because it was just, I don't know, I just wanted to use that one. So, with that being said, let me show you the results here. Now, I like the Brilliance. The only thing with this one is it takes longer to dry, but this one gave me a darker image. As you see, the VersaFine was not clear on all the different lines, and it kind of just looked like a smeared look almost. Also, what I did like as well is the StazOn. So depending on which one you have, I would either go with the, if you have Brilliance, I would stamp it in the Brilliance because it just gives you a crisper, sharper black image. Or if you have StazOn, I would use that. So either or, to me, I just found these two inks to be better when I stamped it for this particular image. This one right here, the Simply Iconic, was not bad, but the Brilliance, since I do have that one, it gave me a better image. I did also stamp the coffee cup out, and I used the Brilliance for this one, which I really did not like it in the Brilliance. Now, the little sayings on here to say like hello, just cuz, thanks. I used the Hero Arts, and I did not particularly care for that image with that particular ink. The Simply Iconic was not bad. I used the red one that it came with, and that ink was, let me see where that one is. It came with this one right here. Now that one was not bad. You can see some of the actual font, but you cannot see all. and this is the StazOn black. For this one, and this one, I actually use the Hero Arts, which are not bad. But for me, I actually like the Memento ink better. It showed up better for me. I also used the Jenny Bolin ink, which was not bad. But I think if I was to stamp it, I would stamp it in a StazOn ink. Just use the black. And probably make the coffee cup a different color or something like that. Now, I use the Hero Arts ink for the paper clip, for this push pin, and the Epic. And then I use the Hero Arts ink for that one as well. So sometimes you just like to see it in color and also your choices of black inks, depending on what you have. So overall, I do like the StazOn ink and the Brilliance ink. Because the rest of them, as you see, the Iconic was not bad. Maybe if I stamp it over again, it was not bad. And I also used VersaFine. The VersaFine was not bad, but it didn't give me that sharp, crisp look that I was going for. Now, I do like VersaFine ink for just plain sentiments. I do prefer VersaFine ink for that. And it depends if you do or do not care about your ink pads, your stamps being stained. I don't care anymore. First, it bothered me because I did not want my stamps to be stained, but most of the time I don't sell my stamps. I don't plan on selling a lot of my Project Life stamps, so I don't care about being stained. And most crafters know there's not really anything that you did. It depends on the ink that you have. So just in case you decide to sell them in the future, most crafters know that it is actually from the ink pad. And please forgive my hands. Don't be talking about my hands, y'all. It's actually from all this different ink. Like I have, look at this. This is actually from the Brilliance, because of the way, I guess the way the ink pad is made. So I had like ink everywhere. And then I actually stamped the telephone because I love that dial. So this right here I stamped with StazOn. And I stamped this one right here, like the film strip. I stamped that with StazOn. So I did like the way that turned out with the black. These two right here, well actually these three images right here, I stamped with Hero Arts, which were not bad. But I did like the StazOn better. And I actually like the Memento. This one right here was stamped with Memento. This pink rosebud right here. So I do like the Memento using these stamps. It seemed to work well with these particular stamps. And then right here I used this Baja Blue for that particular sentiment. I just wanted to see what it looked like. So this is just to give you some ideas when you're stamping, or if you have different ink pads, or why you should get different ink pads, if that makes sense. Because they're different ink pads and different stamp, whatever, depends on what's on an image, will give you a different outlook. So that's that. Let's see how much time I have left. Okay. I also wanted to share with you, actually, you know, I'll come back and I'll do that in a different video. So this right here is just to go over the inks that I said I would go over, showing you the images of the inks. So if you have any questions, or if you have the same stamp set and you have different ink pads, please feel free, if you can do a video response just showing how you stamped yours, what you use to stamp it, I would appreciate it. Because sometimes we as stampers, people that use stamps, like to know what is a good ink pad, and you know, the different outcomes when you stamp, because all of us use different ink pads and things like that. So if you have the time and you know, you want to share, it don't necessarily have to be this particular stamp set. It could be any stamp set that you just want to show your different ink pads and what the outcome look like. Please feel free to share that information with us. But let me know what you think about my little stamping here. Give you some ideas on stamping your images for this particular stamp set. So thank you everyone, and enjoy your Tuesday afternoon. Bye. Actually it's Tuesday. Bye bye.